Daryl, good to see you.
Sean, I didn't realize you were back in town.
Yeah, I'm just back in town for some meetings with Lucinda, but I'm heading back to Zurich right now. What happened to you?
Just an accident. Sean, could you give us a few minutes alone? I really need a chance to talk to my wife.
Yeah, sure. I need to be running along.
Before you do go, Sean, make sure you stop in the back and say goodbye to Mom and Dad. And would you please tell them that Daryl is here?
All right. I don't know when I'll be seeing you again.
Yeah, you and Courtney have a wonderful flight and have a really good time together in Switzerland.
Yeah, we'll do our best on both counts. Take care of yourself. Daryl?
I am so relieved to see you here.
Don't be. You can't imagine what it feels like to find you here with your ex-lover.
She's not my ex-lover. It was only one
Just
night.
save it, Daryl. Please leave Barbara and I alone now. I'd like to speak with her.
Frannie, I told you about this because I wanted to explain why.
No. The only reason you told me is because you knew if I went to Hillsborough, I'd find out from Gavin first. Now get out.
Frannie, please believe that Daryl knew nothing about Jennifer till this June after Gavin's second trial.
Why should I believe anything you say? You've lied to me, to Daryl, to the rest of your family.
Try to understand this. At first, I was trying to protect my marriage to Hal. But I couldn't live with the lies, so I told him that he wasn't Jennifer's father, and he left me.
What a surprise. I understand Tom and Margot also know. Who else is on the list, Barbara?
Lisa. And Paul. You see, Hal was so devastated by this news that I was more determined than ever to keep this secret so that you and other people that I love would not be hurt.
Saint Barbara. The noble. About you loving me? Garbage. You were just trying to protect yourself. You know, I still remember the night that I got back from Zurich and told you about Daryl, how rattled you were, but even knowing then, even knowing that I was going through hell and tortured with doubts about Daryl, you said nothing.
How could I tell you then? How could I try to explain to you?
Then? What about the days and months before when I was falling in love with Daryl? What about then? I mean, you didn't say anything, Barbara, nothing.
I wanted to, but I was afraid. And then when Larry came to me the morning of your wedding...
Larry knows?
No, he doesn't know. He only knows that Hal isn't Jennifer's father because he was the attending pediatrician at the hospital when she was born and he saw the blood tests. He suspected Daryl. And he told me that if Daryl was her father, I had to tell you before the wedding. But how
could I all the time before the wedding, Barbara? What about then? How can Hal even stand to be around you now that he knows the truth?
Because he knows I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. Please, Frannie, try to forgive me.
No, you forget it. You can forget it. I never want to see your face again.
Frannie, please forgive me. Don't talk about this.
Shut up, Barbara. Shut up. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do about anything. Do me a favor. Tell Hal that I appreciate everything he's trying to do for me, but the next time he calls you, tell him to find some other way to contact me.
Oh, Frannie, I'm so glad you came back. Maybe you've had some time to think things through and we can talk about things now.
Oh, no. I want you to suffer just as I have. It makes my blood run cold to think of the times that I talked about Carrie and Jennifer growing up together like sisters when all along you knew. You knew that they were already half-sisters.
Well, that doesn't mean they still can't be close.
Oh, no. No. I'm keeping Carrie as far away as I can from Jennifer, and I'm sure that Mom and Dad will want to do the same with Chris when I tell them the truth. No, you can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, yes, I can, Barbara. And I'm gonna tell Andy, and I'm gonna tell Mac, and I'm gonna tell Graham.
Why are you so determined to hurt me like
That's
this,
a really
Frannie?
stupid question, Barbara. You know who else I'm gonna tell? I'm gonna tell Duncan and Jessup because I want everybody to know. Everybody to know!
No, please, Frannie. Punish me, not Jennifer.
Barbara and I slept together that night. Jennifer is my daughter.
I never meant to hurt anyone, Frannie. If you'll just give me a chance to explain.
Damn it. God, how could I have been so naive?
Frannie, I hope it's not too late. What's wrong? What's the matter?
Did you go to see Barbara the day of my wedding?
Yes.
Because you thought it was possible
But
that Daryl was Jennifer's father and you wanted Barbara to tell me before the wedding?
How do you know that? Barbara never would have told you that.
Oh, yes, she would. Oh, yes, my loving sister would and did. And guess what?
What?
You were right, Larry. Tonight, Daryl admitted to me that... oh, God, that he's Jennifer's father. Oh, God. I cannot believe that you would actually show up here this morning. What am I saying? I'm not surprised. Because it's obvious I've never known you at all, Barbara.
That's not true. We have always been close. We are sisters.
No. Real sisters trust each other. The way I trusted you before the truth finally came out last night.
Please, Frannie, I don't want Bob and Kim knowing about this
Oh,
just
don't
yet,
worry
okay?
about it, Barbara. They've already left for work. You don't have to worry about anybody hearing the truth, anybody hearing about your affair with Daryl
It
and Grove.
wasn't an affair.
A one-night stand, then. You had his baby 9 months later, a small little detail that my loving sister forgot to tell me for how long? 2 years?
Because I didn't want to hurt you.
No. You were protecting yourself, as usual.
You are wrong, Frannie. And the reason I came over here this morning was because I forgot to tell you something last night. After all this time I spent with Hal this summer, I came back here determined to tell you the truth. And when I got back here, everything had fallen apart between you and Daryl. I couldn't very well tell you then.
About last night, too. Like when I got back from Switzerland that night. You remember that? How you were when I was telling you that I finally realized why it was that you'd been so uptight around me. I saw the fear in your eyes, Barbara. And now I finally know why. You were terrified that I was talking about Jennifer.
All right. All right, I admit it. It's true. But Frannie, I love you. I'd give anything if this hadn't happened.
No.
I don't...
No! It is too late. The only thing that you can do is get out of my sight.
Morning! Sorry, I just wanted to say hi before I left, but I get the feeling I interrupted something.
No, Emily, you didn't at all. As a matter of fact, Barbara was just leaving. The two of you can walk out together. Have a nice day, Emily.
Thanks.
I'll come back.
No, that's all right. I was just leaving. Did you get the message?
Yep.
Frannie, look, I hope...
I don't want to hear it, Barbara. I don't know what to say. How could you have kept the truth about Jennifer from me?
Oh, Frannie, I know you're angry and I know you're disillusioned about this, but...
lied to. I just really thought that if there was anybody I could trust, it would be you guys.
You know how much I love you. And you know I did what I thought was best. under the circumstances. Margot and I begged Barbara to tell you from the very beginning, but we felt it was not our place, that you should be told by Daryl and Barbara.
If you had heard this, Frannie, from anyone else other than Daryl, it would have ruined all chances of reconciling your marriage.
Well, it's too late. He told me the truth too late to save our marriage. What are you saying to me, Margot, that this is supposed to be some sort of justification as to what happened between the two of them in Rome?
It does not justify anything, but it happened before Daryl even knew you.
He was still married to Carolyn, and Barbara was married to Hal at the time. Well, I will say one thing. This gives a whole new light to the letters that Carolyn wrote about his infidelity. No wonder he burned them. He never loved Carolyn. He married her for her money.
No, even if that's true, that doesn't...
All right. I know you think that I overreacted to Gavin's letter. I know you think that. But if Daryl did marry Carolyn for the money, if he never loved her, why wouldn't he take the next step and have her murdered so that he could inherit her fortune and then marry me? Thank you, darling.
How are you? Daddy said he told you more about the problems that Daryl and I have been having?
Yes. I'm just sorry you didn't feel you could confide in me.
Oh, Graham, please don't say that. I've always felt like I could confide in you. I didn't want to worry you, that's all. I wanted to think through it more for myself.
And have you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what anything means right now.
It must be dreadful to think that the man you love could possibly do all these terrible things.
Mom? Joy said the juice and coffee were out here.
Yeah, help yourself.
Glad you haven't left for work yet, Mom.
No, I have some appointments out of the studio this morning, so I thought I'd work at home instead. Sorry I fell asleep last night before you got home. I guess I kind of dozed off while I was reading. I woke up about 3 o'clock this morning and saw your car was in and the lights were out. Hope that Chris didn't wake you up. He was so vociferous this morning about what he was wearing to school.
No, actually, I'd been awake for a while. It's kind of nice just listening to you guys talk about normal, everyday things.
The reason I wanted to stay awake last night is because Barbara came by. She told me that Daryl is Jennifer's father.
I don't understand. She begged me not to say anything to you and Daddy.
I know. Well, I suppose she's beginning to learn that keeping this kind of secret can be pretty painful.
I guess you're pretty much in shock about it, too.
Yes. Oh, baby. Honey. My darling girl. My darling girl. I love you. You know, Daryl did stop by last night. He was looking for you.
He's back.
He said that he'd been on some kind of an emergency trip to Des Moines.
Good an excuse as any, I guess.
Also, Larry's called just as I was going up to bed. He seemed very disturbed that you weren't in when I answered the phone.
Yeah, you know, I really need to give him a call. He's been really good to me through all this, Mom. I'm gonna go help Joyce.
Okay. Anyway, as I was saying before Emily came, Daryl really seemed quite upset when I told him you weren't home last night and that I had no idea what time you'd be back.
Mom, he was gone for a day and a half with no calls or no explanation.
I know, but according to him, he felt that you were still reeling from the news about Jennifer and that you really just needed the time to deal with it.
Yeah, of course.
I have to admit that it did occur to me at one point that he might be telling the truth.
Don't you see? He is a master at this. Daryl can come up with some kind of instant rationalization that has a certain logic to it that not even you can refute, Mom.
Well, you know, your dad and I were talking about this last night when he was packing to go to Montego. I mean, about the fact that Daryl had given you an explanation of his actions, but had made you swear to secrecy before he told you. And I assume that you feel you are not able to accept that explanation.
The only person who can verify it is Candace Rogers, and she's suddenly nowhere to be found. Daryl tells me that she's on some sort of extended vacation in Europe, but her sister doesn't even know how to get in touch with her. Come on, Mom. Doesn't that sound kind of unusual to you, that a woman with her responsibility would disappear without letting anybody know where she is?
Yes,
But what?
well, as I said, your dad and I were talking about it. I mean, it took you quite a few days before you tried to call Candace.
Hi. Why aren't you at work?
I came by to see Emily. Her office said she was at home.
Yeah, I think she might be. I saw her car in the driveway as I was pulling up.
Good, I'm glad I ran into you. How you doing since we talked this morning?
Not so good. I told Daryl this morning that I was going to go to the police and have the case reopened. But, I don't know. I got to the police station and Mac wasn't there, and I couldn't really bring myself to tell Margot what I had in mind.
You know, it's got to be easier to talk to Mac, knowing how close Margot and Daryl are.
It's more than that, Larry. I mean, not only am I publicly accusing my husband of murder, but Tom is running for re-election. What's it gonna look like if 6 weeks before he's re-elected, his own sister publicly accuses him of prosecuting the wrong man? No matter what I do, I'm gonna end up hurting somebody.